Several of the compromises made at the Constitutional Convention had to do with the presidency. The most obvious of these had to do with how the president would be selected. One option was that he could simply be elected by a popular vote. But this option was never seriously considered by the framers. Instead, they invented a complicated procedure called the Electoral College, which we'll discuss further in the module on elections. The framers also had to consider how long presidential terms would last. They considered terms of 2, 4, and 7 years before finally settling on a 4-year term. They also considered whether to impose term limits on presidents. And just as they had for Congress, the framers rejected the idea of term limits for presidents. However, after George Washington resigned following his second term in office, it became an unspoken tradition in American politics that presidents should only serve 2 terms. Franklin Roosevelt broke this tradition in 1940 when he ran for and won a 3rd term in office, and he won a 4th term in 1944. This led to the adoption of the 22nd Amendment in 1941, which limits the president to 2 full terms in office and a 10-year total maximum. The framers also spent some time talking about the judicial system. But they didn't spend much time on it because the Constitution doesn't say very much about the courts at all. It does establish a United States Supreme Court, but it doesn't say how many justices will sit on the court. The Constitution is also silent about what the Supreme Court's powers are, and about what other courts there will be. All of those questions were left up to Congress to decide. The Constitution also indicates which powers the federal government possesses, and many of these powers were designed to fix the problems that arose under the Articles of Confederation. For example, the federal government was now given the power to tax. It was given the exclusive power to coin money. It was given the power to regulate interstate commerce. And it was given the power to make treaties, while states were forbidden from making treaties. In addition, although it's still very hard to amend the United States Constitution, it's easier to amend than the Articles of Confederation, and in fact, it has been amended 27 times. Next up, we'll be exploring the constitutional concepts of separation of powers and checks and balances.